She's 1/5 of a British phenomenon that took the world by storm. But long after the girl power faded, she's achieved lasting solo success, selling over 3 million albums worldwide. But how did this young girl from Widnes end up an icon of her generation? And what are the songs that make up the soundtrack to her life so far? Here to talk us through her personal playlist and set the rumours straight on a spicy reunion, it can only be Melanie Chisholm.
I don't want to, pick out people, but there was relationships within the band that sometimes were great, sometimes were bad. It got to, a bit pushy-shovey with me and Mel, and Jerry tried to split us up and got a punch. We did feel like we were capable of anything.
Welcome to the Orange Playlist, Mel.
Thank you so much.
It's lovely having you on. Mel, please set this record straight once and for all. What's going to happen with this Spice Girls reunion? Tate that have come back, they've been incredibly successful. Aren't you looking at that and thinking it's now time for Spice Girls?
It's something I actually never want to see happen.
Really?
Yeah. For me, it was so magical, and I think it was so much of the time. It can never be repeated. I just feel that I'd like to remember things how they were.
What are you most proud that the Spice Girls did?
My proudest thing, I think, is flying the British flag. In America, probably, because I think, it is very difficult for British artists, especially now, to be successful in America and to kind of go over there and conquer that continent. Yeah, fills me with pride.
I realise I've known you for about 10 years, but I don't actually know anything about your childhood, so I'm going to take you back. What sort of a little girl were you?
I've still got this thing today where I really don't like upsetting people. I think because I don't like being in trouble. So I was always, being well behaved. I'm sure I have my moments. My mum would be sitting at home going, oh, remember that time? I grew up in a place called Widnes, which is in Cheshire, and it's about half an hour from Liverpool, about 45 minutes from Manchester. And I really loved school, actually. It was a really good school. They had a really good sports facility there and really good musical theatre as well. So it really catered for all of my interests.
What was the first music you remember being around?
I think that would probably be my mum's record collection, and my mum and my stepdad, who are both musicians. My mum always loved Motown. She's always been a big fan of Ike and Tina Turner and Stevie Wonder. And of course it was, the 80s when I was growing up, so it was all those big albums like Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, So it was a lot of fun, actually, discovering music, I think, through my mum's collection.
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV.
What music can you remember from your school disco days? What takes you back there?
Well, that would be Adam and the Ants. I remember Prince Charming, hey!
Prince Charming, Prince Charming.
God, how gorgeous was he?
Yeah.
He was definitely up on my wall. Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, though, who were quite controversial, but, we didn't know any different, did we?
Who were your idols at the time? Who did you look at and think, that's what I want to do?
Madonna.
Yeah.
Totally Madonna. I remember when Like a Virgin came out, was it about 1984? So I would have only been 10, and I think I must have known what Virgin meant at that time, because I was quite embarrassed, but she was always quite provocative.
Oh, the video
in
as well.
her performance, yeah, so I was kind of, when you're kind of squirming in front of your parents watching it.
Like a virgin, touched for the very first time.
When I saw her tours, that's when I thought, that is what I want to do. I was quite affected by my mum and dad separating. And, you know, and then they went on to have new families, and sometimes I felt a little bit isolated. And so I felt like I had to, you know, kind of prove myself to have a place in the world.
How old were you when you left home?
I left home at 16 to go away to performing arts college. My ultimate dream was to be a pop star, but I was being more realistic and trying to be a ballerina. or, you know, a dancer. I wanted to do musical theatre. And when I left college, kind of like, you know, end of yearbook, and everybody had written their dreams and wishes, and mine was to get a record deal.
So how did it happen to you?
I was at a place called Dance Works, which was like a dance studio, and somebody just handed me a flyer, and it said, "Are you between whatever the ages were?" And it was for a girl band. Along to the audition, and luckily I got it.
If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends.
I think I'm strong enough to stay the same person inside.
What was your first impressions of the other girls?
Victoria, I kind of knew a little bit because she was infamous.
If you wanna be my lover.
I was in an audition, I think, for Oklahoma. You learnt the routine and then you got split up into groups, and she was in like the group before me. You're just about to start and you remember there's so many dancers out there, you want the job, you know, you do everything within your power to get the job. And they're about to start the music, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a mobile phone rings and she goes, "Excuse me!" She goes and gets a mobile phone. And I was like, oh my God, who's that? That's Victoria Adams.
Mel,
Yes.
what is your past track, please?
My past track is Blur Song 2. It's the one where you're at a gig and you're being cool, you stood there, you're enjoying the music, it comes out and you're like, show me the mosh pit. I think my best Blur memory was in 1997, me and Jerry went to see them at the Astoria. There was a guy there and he said, "Oh, go on girls, I dare you to go and do a stage invasion." We were like, "That, yeah, whatever." And I went, "Tell you what, for the next songs, Girls and Boys, we'll do it." The next song was Girls and Boys. So we were ushered down, "Go on then." And we ran on the stage and I was kind of just teetering behind Jerry, but she just went for it, almost got to Damon, and then we were like launched off by security. It was all over the papers and we were in big trouble. We got in trouble for things like that. I can't actually remember a time when I didn't want to be famous. As a child, you know, it was something I really dreamed about. You couldn't switch on the radio, the TV, a newspaper, a magazine. Just everywhere you went, you heard it.